Press the little red button.
Got it.
Here we go.
Yeah, we straight chillin', serial killing, pre-cool villains on the mic, got you reeling. 5-star rated from the floor to the ceiling. If you catch a 1-star, no time for feelings. Got a demon DJ on the ones and twos, by the name Beelzebub, so don't get confused. So grab a seat by the fire, roast them all over two, and prepare to hear the legend of the straight chillin' crew.
What up, nerds, and welcome to another patriotic episode of Straight Chilling, the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, and chop up yet another horror movie. My name is Bob. I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode number 379, recorded Sunday, July 10th, 2022. Tonight, we're talking about another Patreon pick. This one was chosen by Brandon S. The movie is Godzilla from 1998. Before we get into the review, let me introduce everyone else on the show. First up, calling in from the heart of the country, we got our boy Randu from DC. What's up?
Randu!
You know, typically people don't refer to DC as the heart of the country.
Well, they're wrong.
There are many things they refer to it as, but I don't think that's one of them.
It's where my heart lies and always has. I've never
What the fuck?
minced words about that. Okay, let's just get that straight.
I think he might be mincing a few words right this second.
No way, brother. No way.
All right.
Last but not least, calling in from South Korea, we got our boy Soju. What's up, man?
Oh, what up? It's your boy. Size does matter, Stains.
Apparently,
God,
it
yes,
does.
come with me.
I do. This is a bonus for behind the scenes. If you're watching this on YouTube, I got the VHS tape. It literally says size does matter.
Also,
If you can
Justin
see
has
that.
whipped his gargantuan wiener out on the
Yep.
camera.
Yeah.
We're gonna get
Behind
shit
showing
monetized,
the
buddy.
scenes.
It's very green and irradiated and weird. It's just weird looking.
It's a
Also
weird-
very
it's a
large,
weird
so
looking-
that's the most important.
Overly-
fact.
the important
It's-
thing. It may be irradiated and scaly, but it sure is big.
It's drippy.
That's
it's
all you
green,
need to measure it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
full of fish. I don't know.
Lizard.
Yes. Oh
We're starting
man.
off strong with dick jokes today, guys.
So
for doing it.
strong.
Also,
It's-
isn't this like one of the smallest Godzillas?
I think so. I think so.
I think so.
Kind of a self-defeating headline if you put it in context.
Yeah.
I think
It's
they
well, I
were
know
com-
that it's actually. Go ahead.
they were
Bob.
they were coming at it from the angle of like this shit is bigger than anything in Jurassic Park because that was
Yeah.
of recent memory in America.
What?
We'll get into that, but also I also want to point out that saying that there's a definitive size to this Godzilla is pretty laughable in itself.
That's true.
That's also true. Oh man. Big thanks to Brandon for picking a flick for us to review this week. We really do appreciate it. Before we get into the review, let's tackle some housekeeping real quick though. Our August poll pick is currently posted on our Patreon website. If you support us at the $5 level or above, you get the chance to vote on a movie we're talking about this August. The theme for August is back to school. The movies to vote between are Raw, Cherry Falls, and The Faculty.
Whoa, Bob. You didn't sing the tune one, so the
Yeah,
theme
I
is
mean,
not
Back
valid.
to school.
We had an agreement.
Back to school.
You
This
set
is
that
like-
up for yourself,
I'm-
so
To
You getting flashes of Cold Stone right now?
To
The
Dad,
bands that
that
you sing. Sing for your
I'm
supper,
not-
damn it.
a
say.
fool. How are those numbers looking? you
yeah, how
ask?
those numbers looking, Bob?
The Faculty is on top. Raw is in the middle, and nobody cares about Cherry Falls.
Aw, poor
That
old
tracks,
Cherry Falls.
Unfortunately.
So sad. Hate
Everybody,
to see
what's
it.
that? Josh Hartnett.
Josh
haircut.
Love.
That John Hawk
Hartnett.
Hartnett.
That Jason Hartnett haircut.
That
And
Jason Alexander in his hair. It's crazy.
the Elijah Boner. Everybody loves to see him.
Dude,
And
I'm
we're-
crazy
we are-
about old Elijah Woods.
This episode is going to be oops all tangents.
Probably. Yeah, so the faculty is definitely in the lead. Make sure you get your votes in before the end of July, and we'll see what movie we're talking about this August. In other Patreon news, we did drop a brand new mini cast last Friday on our Patreon website. If you support us at the $10 level or above, you get access to a whole back catalog of Patreon exclusive episodes. Most recently, we dropped a mini cast where I was talking about a movie called Dash Cam. This is Rob Savage's feature-length debut. If you're unfamiliar with that name, he did Host, which was the found footage hour-long event that hit Shudder last fall. Everybody really enjoyed that, and Blumhouse made a 3-picture deal with him, and this is the first of those 3 pictures.
Whoa.
If you want my my thoughts on that, yeah.
Hey,
they might be regretting.
Who's
that
looking forward to
deal.
Host 2 when that's happening?
Yeah.
Honestly,
immediately following.
Yeah, hopefully that's his second movie.
Host
Hosted
2 and
again.
3.
Hosted
Yeah.
again.
Thank you, Jason Blum. Yeah, you can check that out over on our Patreon website. And again, if you do sign up on Patreon, you'll get an RSS link sent to you in your email, and you can drop that in your podcatcher of choice and listen to all of those bonus episodes on whatever platform you prefer to do so. That's really all we got for Patreon. Also, we announced this last week for the first time, but we do have an ad running in the July/August edition of Fangoria magazine. So pick
Whoa.
that up if you are interested in seeing that. Randu designed a fantastic half-page ad for us. You want to like peacock a little bit, Randy, and be like flex those
No.
designer
What-
muscles?
who are you
Randy
talking to?
Peacock. Let me peacock.
Have I
for
ever
Randy.
done such a
Choose
thing?
peacock.
I'm the
Peacock,
peacock
Randy.
of the group around here. Okay,
Compliment.
let me
Yeah,
go
all
ahead.
the girls say so.
And the boys, come on now.
Uh,
So we have a baller half-page ad that plays off of kind of some of our slogans that we use for some reason. You know, I don't know why we do these things in our podcast.
Nobody
but we
does.
do. But it's playing off the term we use from Satan with love in several of our things. I
we
don't even
gonna-
know where that came from. Where did that come
What?
from?
Are we really promoting our ad right now? We are
Yes.
not dropping a teaser trailer on our print ad that we paid for.
Randy, these only come out for a year. This is a special edition straight chillin' artwork that people want to have.
And now you can put them in a cool Godzilla cup holder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you can.
Yeah. Soon we'll have our own cup holders, and we'll be
That's
promoting
right.
those too.
That's how we know we've made it.
I'll peacock them all over the airwaves.
Okay,
So
sounds great.
yeah, pick up the most recent issue of Fangoria if you are interested in seeing our ad. Randy really did do a great job. I know, like we're
Yeah, it's
cracking
really
jokes
cool.
or whatever. Randy put in a lot of work, and I think it looks fantastic. So yeah, if you are interested in Fangoria, I know you can order it on their website, and you can pick it up in Barnes and Noble and also some comic book shops if you're interested in doing that.
Have we got a
Um,
solid date on when that is actually dropping? I've been trying to look myself. I haven't found it.
Yeah, it varies, man. Sometimes it hits your doorstep on the first. I have a subscription. I haven't gotten mine in the mail yet, though. I
Oh,
imagine
okay.
ittle come within the next week or so, but
Okay.
it does vary. So
I'll
it's
just
it's
wait
hard
till
to-
yours lands them.
Yeah, it's hard to nail down. That's really all I got. Do you guys have anything else you want to mention? Anything I forgot there for housekeeping?
I don't think so. My house is clean this week.
Rigatoni.
That's it for
Mhm,
me.
yes, rigatoni. You make
Thanks,
a good
Randy.
point.
There it is.
Were you not going to say it?
No,
I mean,
you berate us when we do.
you get annoyed when we cue it up. Like,
No, I don't. I don't. When do I get annoyed about that?
Oh, I'll
Crazy.
get the
You do.
clips.
you do.
Okay, great. Get the clips.
Anyways, we're getting into the main event. We're talking about Godzilla 1998, and we are kicking it off with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Bob, do you have this blue box?
I do have this. I've got this on 4K and on Blu-ray. and on VHS.
Of course. Of
Well,
course you
the
do.
format of choice, of course, so you can conceal some of the CGI.
Bob, I do
Yes.
hate to tell you, but blues are so chewed these days.
Chug, which
Yeah.
is a
I heard
bastardization
chewed.
of
I was
chuggy.
like, okay, what is
Oh,
this
yeah.
now?
Chuggy, which is the word.
You're out of
taking it back.
style. You're out of
Huh?
style, my guy.
You're taking it. You're
See,
taking it
that's where the
back.
youth are getting it wrong. Too many syllables.
Too many.
Drop
Yes.
the extra syllable.
You gotta
Drop the
get it
the.
as short
It's
as
just
possible.
Facebook.
Only millennials collect Blu-rays and 4Ks. The fucking Zoomers collect VHS. You fucking nerds. Okay, so go ahead and get that.
So chewed,
Yep.
Bob.
Yeah, actually, Brother Mikey gave me this VHS tape. He found it at a flea market. It's unopened.
Brother Mikey.
See a
Brother
reference
Mikey.
now?
I'm sorry. Did
Yeah.
you guys? Let's get physical occult. You need to tell me if it is.
You don't need. If you have to ask, you'll never know. That's the answer.
Oh
Well,
shit.
We'll
There's-
We're
never-
gonna be on a
there's-
true crime doc of our own at some point.
There's a sticker on this VHS tape. It's got a mail-in offer for a free Godzilla flashlight. The merchandising for this movie was out of fucking control, and
You
we'll get
think you
into
can
all
still
of that.
collect on that, Bob?
Dude, I should try, right? I should probably try and mail it in. Oh man, Godzilla 1998, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 2 hours and 19 minutes. This was directed by Roland Emmerich. This was written by Dean Devlin, Roland Emmerich, and Ted Elliott. Emmerich, sorry, yeah, rolled that. Stars Matthew.
I'm too childish not to laugh at that. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Stars Matthew Broderick, Jean Reno, Maria Patillo, Hank Azaria, Michael Lerner, Kevin Dunn, just a murderer's row. Solid cast. Plot synopsis brought to you by the back of this Blu-ray here is as follows. Following French atomic bomb tests in the South Pacific, an unknown creature is spotted passing through the Panama Canal. Scientist Nico Tatopoulos is called in to investigate the matter, and he quickly arrives at the conclusion that a giant irradiated lizard has been created by the explosions. Godzilla then makes its way north, landing in Manhattan to begin wreaking havoc on the big city. Gentlemen, had you seen this movie before, and would you recommend people check it out? Randu, kick us off.
I have seen this film before when I was but a young child of however old I was in '98. Not going to do that math right now. Yeah, so
10?
I would generally not recommend this film. I think it's I mean, if you've seen a Roland Emmerich movie, imagine that, but more middling, and you've kind of got this movie. So if you love Roland Emmerich, if you love big spectacle and very little else, you might have a good time with it. Otherwise, I have no recommendations for this, really. Or if you're a
All
completist,
right.
I'll give you that.
Juice, what about you?
Yeah, this isn't for a lot of people. And actually, this kind of falls into a similar category that a lot of 90s franchise properties kind of fall into, where it is never going to be the first, second, or third recommend of the franchise that belongs to. You're never going to recommend Batman Forever first or second or third in any Batman films.
I never recommend Batman to anyone.
Well, no, but it just
I don't
says-
believe in vigilantism. It's wrong.
but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have some kind of value. It does. It's just not a lot. Mostly too, if you were gonna watch a film like this from the 90s, I would just say just go watch Jurassic Park instead.
Yeah.
Just do that. Or if you're gonna watch a Godzilla film, just watch like 10 others before this one.
Yeah, like if you've exhausted your 90s supply
Yeah.
of Jurassic Park films, then I guess you could do worse.
Yeah, also watch Jurassic 2 before this film. But anyways, it's got something going on if you're really in the mood for some 90s nostalgia. But other than that, not a strong recommend from me. Bo Bear. Who
Hello.
are you recommending this film
That's
to?
a no, so let's move on.
Who are you peddling this film to, Bob?
Yeah.
Okay, this movie is a hard recommend from me. This is the most American film I've ever seen, and it is made specifically for patriots. If you are an American patriot, you will love this movie. I we gotta like give it up pretty big to the director here, Roland Emmerich. He may not be American, but he is a true American patriot. We'll get more into that. I recommend this shit. If you love America, you'll love Godzilla 1998. Hard recommend from your boy Bob. That sounds like a massively huge recommendation from the Straight Chilling crew across the board. Absolutely.
All general audiences need to watch this. He
Absolutely.
is German, just like he's German, just like you, Bob.
You owe it to yourself.
I think you got it inside track.
You owe it to your family. My biggest regret is that we didn't cover this movie on the week of the 4th of July. We should have. Wow. I apologize to all
that
of
is
our
your
listeners.
biggest regret.
That's
in life.
Man.
That's my biggest, in life to date. That's my largest regret.
Deathbed regrets numero uno.
Oh shit, he also did Independence Day though. There you go.
And after that,
yes, he did.
Well, he did Independence Day and then Godzilla, which is arguably the most American film ever made. And after that, he directed The Goddamn Patriot. Okay.
Oh damn.
The holy trinity of films. We salute
Sounds like
Roland
this Frenchman
Emmerich.
has really fleeced the whole country.
Well, he's German. He's
German. I'm sorry, Roland. That was uncool.
Don't disrespect my boy, okay? Damn.
Yeah,
the
he's
French,
a patriot.
We got a lot of problems with the French, and we're going to get into those momentarily. That's
We are?
massive recommendation from the Straight Chilling crew.
Okay. I didn't expect Bob to go full America on everybody's asses today.
All over everybody's ass. We're going to spoil the shit out of this American classic, and right now, here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Unfortunately, Bob did not prepare a plot synopsis, so we're just going to replace it with this clip.
What? Do you have a clip? Do you actually have
I
a
thought
clip?
Randy was going to play a bump. I thought Randy was just going to be on the ball. I thought he was just going to do his job.
You can't count on him. You can't do it.
There's no button to press, bro. You
Rob sent you like 30 bumps.
Well, a few. And I come prepared. I have the plot synopsis typed up in full.
Right. Okay, since that one didn't go as planned, we'll let Bob do his plot synopsis.
I was like, wait, I thought I'd forgotten. Sorry, I didn't know about something. You sold me.
I was just waiting for you to play one of those sweet Taco Bell bumps.
Dude, give it time. Give it time.
All right, I got the plot synopsis. Here we go. During the opening credits of this film, we see iguanas being exposed to nuclear fallout from military testing in French Polynesia. Then in the South Pacific, we see a Japanese vessel get attacked by a giant creature. Our main character, Nick Totopoulos, we find him researching the effects of radiation on worms in Chernobyl when he is interrupted by a U.S. State Department official who wants him to investigate this giant creature. Nick ends up testing some tissue samples, deducing the creature as the dawn of a new species that was created via exposure of nuclear testing. The creature eventually makes it to New York City, and the city is evacuated. Nick convinces the military to make a huge pile of fish to lure the creature out of hiding. It works, but their attempts to kill the creature fail. Nick runs into his ex-girlfriend, Audrey, who works at a news station, and she wants to become a reporter. Nick ends up testing some of the creature's blood with a pregnancy test, and it is positive. He deduces the creature is asexual. As Nick rushes off to share the news of the gender reveal party, Audrey steals a top secret VHS tape and creates a news story with the footage, hoping to jumpstart her career. However, another news reporter steals the story, and the resulting leaked footage causes Nick to be fired. Nick then gets picked up by a French Secret Service agent, Philippe Roche. Philippe explains they've kept a close eye on the events and are attempting to cover up their country's role in the nuclear testing that created Godzilla. Philippe and Nick agree they need to find Godzilla's nest before it's too late. Meanwhile, the U.S. military hit Godzilla with a couple torpedoes in the Hudson River, and he's believed to be dead. Nick and company find the nest inside Madison Square Garden with over 200 eggs, and they start hatching. Nick and Philippe are joined by Audrey and cameraman by the name of Animal, and manage to get out a live broadcast of the nest and the creature's hatching. The story prompts a military airstrike blowing up Madison Square Garden as the four escape just in the nick of time. Godzilla then erupts from the rubble and chases the four in a taxi throughout New York City, resulting in Godzilla getting tangled in the cables of the Brooklyn Bridge. The Air Force then shoots and kills Godzilla. Nick and Audrey make amends, and we see one final egg left in the rubble of Madison Square Garden. Hatch. Roll credits.
And munch on some grinding.
We're munching.
Let's just
on
go
some
ahead
grindage.
and put out a warning that this film is nearly 2.5 hours long.
I was
219.
blown away.
I knew
by
that you. I was
revelation.
so happy to announce that too, because I knew that you were.
Like, that is
You
just
know,
not possible. Is it?
I was
should
blown
be
away as
longer.
well.
It's not
Blown away
long
as
enough.
well. I was just like, are you kidding
interesting.
me?
European style.
How is this a movie even 2 hours long? I
Dude,
watched
Dude,
a
I'll
shit
tell you
more.
how. It's because they tried to cram a whole Jurassic Park in the middle of their Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the whole Madison Square Garden thing. That's a movie. Like that's like
Yeah.
if you had stopped at the end of that, that's a movie, and that was like about an hour and a half. That would have like, or maybe a little bit longer than that at that point. But it was like not necessary to go for one last thrill ride there
Also-
at the end.
Also, they do the chase through Manhattan almost exactly twice. Like the same
Dude,
thing, the
Yeah.
same plan. Trap them with some
Dude, this
fish,
fucking-
and chase them through
Also,
Manhattan, and blow a bunch of shit up
this
you're
fu-
not supposed to blow up twice. They do that twice.
Yeah. They did the same exact plan twice, both times destroying fucking landmarks, presumably with hundreds of people in them. This movie had came out 2-3 years before fucking 9/11, and buddy, it fucking shows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's just the French's fault. That's all because of the French. That's not America's
The-
fault. Yeah. They
I-
created this giant
The
evil
American
lizard.
military in this film that
What?
chose to blow up the Chrysler building, that wasn't their
The,
fault.
the French came on over, tried to take a bite out of the Big Apple. What are we gonna do? We're gonna lay down and take it? No, we're gonna blow them up. We're gonna blow them up.
Speak
Randy,
English,
what do you want?
Doc. We ain't scientists.
Actually kind of dug on. I kind of forgot. But the little like French, also the French being involved as the secret military is pretty hilarious, because
You
that
can't
just doesn't
trust 'em.
it just doesn't happen a lot. But also just the small little digs about the coffee and
Yeah.
eating, chewing gum and shit. That was pretty funny to me. I thought those were pretty clever little jokes.
I thought it was
I-
disrespectful.
clever,
They
I don't know about
disrespect
that,
Elvis.
but
They disrespect.
they
Maxwell
disrespect my
House.
Folgers grounds.
They disrespect my juicy fruit. I won't have it.
He was not even eating a fried peanut butter banana sandwich when he did that impression.
Gene Reno.
How
I
can
don't
we
like it.
know? I don't know, man. Like the whole like this movie really kind of tries to do international, but it just spends all its time in New York, and all Americans are making all the decisions and everything. I don't know. It was a little
Like
bit
it
strange.
should
'cause
be.
but I wanted it to be like more I'm sorry, not metropolitan, international than that. I don't know why that word came to mind, but
It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that they chose the French instead of like the Russians, which would have been huge, or the Soviets, huge in the 90s, because they needed them to be likable, because Nick needs to team up with them and
right,
hang
You
out
can't
with
go
them,
teaming up
and
with
ca-
XKGB in
Exactly.
America in the
Yeah.
90s.
The,
Yeah.
the French were actually testing nukes in the 90s. It's not fabricated. You can't trust them. Get them out.
I mean,
French
who was it?
Polynesia, Bob.
America.
It's
We
their
didn't need
property,
that.
right?
We really didn't need that aspect of it. If we're going with reality, America's done plenty of bombing in their time.
Well, we don't.
I guess
need to
it would
live
have been
the
a little
past,
ghost
Randy,
cheating.
Okay.
we
don't
don't,
need to-
definitely don't. Apparently, burn those history books, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. The idea that they might have, I was thinking to myself, man, they like if they're gonna do this, they should do it with the Japanese, and I think that's maybe a more modern sentiment, because like I feel like that would have been seen as a dig against like or like just kind of gauche, because
Well,
Hiroshima and shit. Like,
well, no, I really do think it has to do with this idea of they need to team up with them, and they need to make them as relatable and friendly. Like Americans, as much as we dig on them and freedom fries and bullshit, France is okay to general,
Well, yeah.
audience members, and not much else could you choose to be like, oh, this guy really needs to team
Give
up
it
with him
3 years
to
and they'll
undermine the US government. Like there's not too many other countries you could have picked to try to pull that off. And so I thought it was actually really funny that they picked France for that role.
I don't find them super endearing because they created the big old French Zilla stomping through my Big Apple, killing my American people.
It's just so weird to me. Like, why in a movie, like the whole like idea of the French being there is that because like, hey, we fucked something up and we're here to fix it, and it's like we couldn't have just had the Americans say that. Because we fucking Bikini Atoll and all this other shit that we're involved with, like it's
yeah, that's true.
It's not like like we're hurting for fuck ups. Like,
but then who would have? Well, then why wouldn't? But I guess they just need this rift. I guess that's kind of my point. You need somebody to go against the main government.
Yeah, but like, how many factions of?
Yeah, I mean, like, you could
do it. You could do it a million different ways. I think that they just kind of wanted those. Honestly, I think it just, like you said, like it made for pretty accessible and easy coffee and Danish jokes or whatever, scone jokes, whatever it was.
Where's the croissant? Where is it? This is French roast. That show's pretty funny though. Our coffee is garbage. it's garbage.
I've
always thought so, but I think that about pretty much every coffee product I've ever had.
Oh, so. Poor Randy.
You boys are just wrong. Give me that Folgers. Give me that Maxwell House. I'll chug it. Fucking chug it.
You're calling a cootie queen, you lint liquor.
French roast, Bob?
America roast.
American
That's
roast.
what I drank. I drink America roast.
Want something to drink?
Oh God.
What's more America than a taco? Can you answer me that? Nothing.
Than a taco.
Ain't nothing more America than tacos.
Well, you got the way we do them. Yeah,
you boys.
That's true.
You boys remember the Taco Bell shit when this movie rolled out? Like the marketing.
I remember.
Dude, yes. Do I remember the onslaught of this and episode 1 all at the same time? And just like
that actually might have been the birth of that special Mountain Dew, because they made it a special color, and I don't think it was till a couple years later where they actually called it Baja Blast. But I'm pretty sure they made it to match the color for Godzilla, and then
I don't think that's exactly right.
Really?
I think Baja Blast came later. But what they did do was they created a giant fucking, like a big gulp, the biggest big gulp you've ever seen in your life. It was fucking like 69 ounces for 69 cents or some fucking
bullshit. Godzilla size or some shit?
It was so big that you couldn't fit it in your tiny little like Honda cup holders. Like it was impossible. So you had to you had to give them an extra $1 to buy a cup holder
more
to set
than
your
the
big
drink.
Gulp in. Like, it was
and now you can put them in a cool Godzilla cup holder.
That's nuts.
Cool Godzilla cup holder though, guys. You're missing the lead here.
Dude, back in the 90s, fucking fast food places went ham.
People were thirsty as fuck.
Merchandising, sure. I remember Star Wars Episode 1 was nuts.
Episode 1 was fucking insane. But I would say that I would argue that like I think that like as we have as much like tie-in as we used to, but it's for excessively random products. It seems like now it's like you see fucking like Iron Man on a fucking box of like pregnancy tests or some shit. Like it's really weird what we choose to like slap the fucking image on. But like back in those days, like for all of its faults, for all of its commercialism and all that shit, it was at least like, oh, we made a giant cup. It's okay, well that's something you wouldn't see every day, at least just with somebody's face on it.
This movie partnered with some like 250 merchandising partners.
Holy shit.
250.
Well,
this movie was everywhere. Capitalize on that shit.
This kind of feels like the biggest cash grab between so many different things. Obviously, we mentioned the Jurassic Park idea and the whole, oh dear God, how many scenes, legit scenes, especially the ones revolving around the tiny Zillas, which are just supposed to be raptors, when they kind of like nudge the door open, when they slip and slide around, pretty much anything about the raptors is just straight stolen from Jurassic Park.
They just crammed like an entire fucking climax before the climax, and it just felt sandwiched between two other climaxes. They have a Jurassic Park movie, and it's like except that nobody is at fault for this shit happening. Like I guess you could say the U.S. government to some extent. That's the biggest thing that happens is they just refuse to look for the nest right away. And then they write him off, I guess, which I don't know, man. Can we talk about Broderick for a second?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A true American patriot, Matthew fucking Broderick.
I think it is.
We owe a lot to the man. Continue, please.
I think it's hilarious how everyone wants to swing on Matthew Broderick's dick.
Dude,
like
everybody thinks.
Yeah, I know he was.
This guy's the hottest shit in the world.
What,
dude?
Also,
the man, the man knows when to take a day off, and I appreciate it. True American.
That is true America. Yeah, I would say this. Like, I really like Matthew Broderick. I think he's great. I think he's great as a comic actor and maybe occasionally as a slightly more dramatic actor at times.
Yeah.
I think like there's a lot of movies that I really love him in. He is not cut out to be a fucking action star. I know that like Roland had just gotten off a fucking Independence Day turning Will Smith into a fucking action star, but I think Bad Boys had already come out by then, so that's a proven talent for this kind of role.
Yeah.
And Broderick just isn't, and it kind of shows. He's like he's supposed to be like sexy, and he's as confused as we are by that, and also like he has no other character besides that, and people not understanding his name, which is not that fucking
also
difficult.
People just straight up call him the worm guy, so they undermine him at every chance they get. Nobody listens to him. I mean, he does get a couple things kind of right, but he doesn't. It feels like they tried to give him some relationships with some people like the O'Neill, that guy, but they don't. They kind of imply that they should have a deeper relationship or they should be closer, but those scenes were cut, I guess. Thank God, because this movie certainly way too long.
We need more.
But they still keep in the resolution for a subplot they cut out.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we've got this big moment with some guy named Neil. And I'm like, who the fuck is Neil? What? Like, he's a soldier who helped him out in a clutch. Great. But like, it's like we're like breathing a sigh of relief with him. And I don't know that I'd seen him before. Even had we seen him?
Well,
before,
yeah, he was running the fish gag or whatever.
Oh well, yeah, fucking great.
The Tatopolis name was like a running joke in the movie, because the guy who actually designed this version of Godzilla's last name was Tatopolis, so they were kind of paying him some tribute for that. Is it hilarious? Yes, it is absolutely hilarious. It lands every time. Is it?
Can we talk about this design? Since you brought up that, sure. I did get a scale.
Chinzilla.
I did get a scale,
French Zilla,
and this one that has been dubbed as Zilla, 1998, French. Is 20 meters taller than like the OG Godzilla, and most that they ran with up until the late 60s, early 70s, which was around 50 meters. The original Godzilla, this Zilla is 70 meters, but as far as the size does matter, okay, he is bigger than the original one. But throughout the 80s and even early 90s, I'm seeing 84, 80 meters, 89, 80 meters, 91, 100 meters, 92, 100 meters, 95, 100 meters. So he was 30 meters smaller than the
actual
80s.
You see that square jaw? So I've got a little French Zilla toy here. I'm showing behind the scenes. That square jaw apparently was influenced by Shere Khan from the Disney property The Jungle Book. That square ass jaw. I guess like King of the
I don't
Monsters,
have a big problem.
King of the
that's
Jungle. I don't
nifty. Like, I don't have a problem with the design really. Like, because like the thing is with the Godzilla movie is like wait a year and there'll be another design. You can always count on like Like they usually stick to the same general area, and
He's
this is
pretty
definitely one of the bigger
consistent,
branch. This is one of the bigger branch outs that they've done, and I just don't really have a problem with it, especially because this movie doesn't really matter in the canon of Godzilla.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm just not precious about it. Some people might be, but I think that
Yes.
it's like on its like in a vacuum, it looks cool. It looks fine.
It
Like,
is.
the CG looks terrible.
This is the 23rd Godzilla film. The first 22 below ass. This is the only one that really matters.
And after that, it's the other one. That really
It's
matters,
just
Bob.
garbage.
Everything
it's
else
trash
blows ass.
after that too. You're
Quote
exactly
Bob.
right. It's garbage. This is the only one that really matters for sure. I don't know, is talking about like the design a little bit further, like Fringezilla doesn't have like he doesn't breathe fire, but apparently his breath is flammable. So if you notice, he's really just he's like roaring, but if there is something that can ignite his roar, then it becomes flame in the movie.
They do that like once, right?
Yeah,
I
think
don't
twice.
even remember.
I think
that
twice.
being the case.
It's a bit of a
I thought he breathed
departure.
fire. I thought he breathed fire.
Yeah, he didn't kind of have any
fire.
radiation about him either. There was
Yeah.
no.
Well, that's the thing, man. This thing backs down off a lot of shit that makes Godzilla kind of like make sense or work for me.
Yeah,
like the nuclear
Yep.
aspect. They work it into the story, but it's just an origin. It's just an excuse to have a big lizard in downtown New York. Which, by the way,
Heard that.
dumb, big time dumb to fucking have Godzilla in goddamn central Manhattan, and then for the military to go like, we gotta keep him here. Let's keep him in the highest fucking population density in the nearest fucking 150 miles. What the fuck? Like, why?
well, actually,
Why?
they worked in a little, Jaws there. And being an adult now watching this, because I did watch a ton as a kid, but I was like, okay, that's something. This conflict of, he really only cares about the money, but really, there should be a concern about this highly populated area. And it's kind of nuts how they're just blowing the fuck out of the Chrysler building.
Yeah.
And shit like that, like there's no plan where they try to net him or take out his legs or nothing like that. Grab him by the tail.
It's fish and blowing
France.
fucking missiles at his ass, which he easily dodges because this is a very lithe version of Godzilla, I guess. He's very nimble.
And also that second scene where they're chasing through New York and all of those choppers come out of the building. Like, this is stupid.
That looked like the
You
Mighty Morphin
couldn't
Power Rangers
do
movie. That scene looked like
there was
shit.
like 100 choppers like on top of each other flying through New York City. I was like, no. I'm pretty sure though, since I did just find out, because I did just watch Independence Day, I'm pretty sure that one of the guys was in Independence Day as a commander, the guy who does the lights that light up to try to communicate with the aliens. Echo One. We're trying to communicate. Echo One. I'm pretty sure he was one of the commanders in this. I was like, and I didn't realize that it was the same guy who made Independence Day, which is far, far superior than this movie.
Never liked Independence Day that much. So for me, this is kind of just the wrong tree to bark up.
Yeah.
Some of the advertisements for this fucking movie, just talking about like the size of Godzilla and how like specific that was for the advertisements. They had like bus wraps that would drive by that were like full like green all the way down the side of the bus, and it would say like Godzilla's foot is bigger than this bus. And then of course like the size does matter was like plastered on the side of like fucking skyscrapers. And like the marketing that was going on for this movie, just even if they were trying to get at Jurassic Park, if you took it at face value, it seemed like they were really just trying to get cheeks in the seats by saying like Godzilla has this fat fucking irradiated hog, so you gotta see it. Like all these like weird giant dick references plastered on buses and skyscrapers. It seems weird.
It seems
but I love
cloying
it.
and it seems cloying and fucking pathetic to me to hinge your entire marketing campaign, your like $500 million marketing campaign on it's like the successful movie, but it's better than the successful movie. The fact that it's more or less directly referencing a much better movie is like, that's got to be number one clue that, oh, this movie has nothing to say for itself. All it can say is we made this, but bigger.
Also, he doesn't seem that particularly big, and maybe it's because the building
is like 8 times.
Also, yeah, the one where he seems the biggest, which is some of the worst CGI in this, is when they're in the tunnels and they do the eye looking through. They're like, "Do you see anything down there?" He's like, "I don't see any." He kind of moves past the tunnels, but also it's so silly. As big as he's supposed to be, the scene where he's crawling through the tunnels, like on his belly through the underground of New York, I was like, this is dumb. That would never happen.
He's just using public transit. What's wrong with that?
I just don't know about that shit. The fucking whole logic of he's like Broderick has this fucking expository scene where he's like, well, yeah, look at New York. It's a perfect place to hide. It's like, bitch, there's millions of people there. There are like 18 billion eyeballs and cameras and fucking choppers and resources there. Like, how would you ever lose them? The only explanation they give is like, well, we lost them. I guess he tunneled, but he has to get in somehow. So somebody must have seen him
a giant
into
hole.
the tunnel. Yeah, you can't find a giant hole.
Also, they have equipment that tracks earthquakes. You're telling me this motherfucker crawling under New York makes no effect on the ground above?
The French are sneaky, okay? It's hard to keep track of them.
Okay.
He's
taking on their qualities through their radiation.
He's slippery.
This movie, like the level of the way they handle like the destruction of buildings and shit like that like definitely have some people in them so wantonly it reminds me of like Ghostbusters 2, where they're just walking the fucking Statue of Liberty downtown and definitely causing a lot of fucking damage and like ruining people's apartments and shit. Like, and just who gives a fuck? We're playing Jackie Wilson here. Who gives a shit?
Oof.
I don't know. Yeah. In this case, I guess it's fucking.
The thing is
Combs.
As a '90s film, it's a fine actiony, thing because it rips off a lot of Jurassic Park, which was very, very successful just a few years earlier than this. And so, but the problem, again, like Randy kind of mentioned, is Matthew Broderick is not an action star. And so a part of the problem is too, you have no people like Grant or even Goldblum. They do the car chase scene. They do the car chase scene. They just steal so much from Jurassic Park. It's unbelievable.
It really is unbelievable. And also this movie is guilty of some more modern day faux pas. At one point, Hank Azaria, it's Hank Azaria, I think.
Yes.
It is Hank Azaria, because Harry Shearer is in this too, and I get their names confused. But Hank Azaria is called a rootard.
Oh yeah,
a wop by his girlfriend.
Wife.
This is or wife, whatever. This is one of the closest. This is probably the closest character to being action ready until we finally get the Frenchman into the mix. Like, I don't know, man. That one hit me kind of weird. I'm like, I know that's a product of time, but it's not good.
Yeah. Also, too, though, I don't like them. There's no the woman in this who's supposed to be his love interest is nothing. Yeah, and their relationship is pretty much nothing, and her friends are pretty much nothing, and I don't really like them.
Audrey is a piece of shit in this movie.
Yeah,
like,
Audrey is a piece
she totally bails on my boy to topless and doesn't leave a note or a message or anything, and he doesn't hear from her for 8 years, and then he's on TV, and all of a sudden she's like got a huge weddie for him, and then runs into him, and then he's like
career purposes.
Yeah, runs into him and then fucking steals shit from him and to better her own career, and then it goes sideways and doesn't work out for her, and then she's like, oh well, that sucks, and then doesn't even come up with a plan to make it better. Fucking Animal Hangazaria comes in and is like, hey, I'm gonna help you fucking fix shit with Nick because you're a piece of shit, and he's like, let's go film this stuff, and then you can like say he was right the whole time. She had nothing to do with it. Audrey's a piece of shit,
dude. Audrey sucks in this movie, and it's like, it's because of that, but it's also because of the way she's written that way. She's written to be not just not vindictive really, but like callous, like as part of her arc is like becoming callous and then realizing that's a mistake, but then doing nothing about it because she's a silly woman and she needs Hank Azaria to drag her around and tell her what to do until somebody more capable comes along.
Yeah, their redemption
it's really
moment,
kind of fucked up.
Her redemption moment is going on the air and interviewing Nick, and they had afterwards she's like, thanks, and it's like, that's you had to do that. That had to happen for hundreds and thousands of people to not be slaughtered by monsters. Well, there's no
because she specifically was like, so it turns out you were right, huh? And it's like that shit doesn't like that speaks for itself. You don't have to do that. I don't know, man. It was a little fucked up. I just don't like her character, like, and also like every actor in this for the most part, it either like is not really, it doesn't have characterization, like just is not putting forward a very good performance, or is putting forward a very spirited performance for a terribly written character. So you have the two sides of the coin there. Animal like is supposed to be plucky comic relief, but he actually like pushes the plot forward where Audrey should have, like you just pointed out. And then like throughout the rest, it's just him making jokes about fucking like the professional, Leon the professional, whatever his name is. And like who's this guy? What's going on? Oh wow, the Knicks practice here. It's like, okay. Please, cut all of this, and we suddenly have a tighter movie that I can be attentive for the full runtime.
Yeah. Also the whole fake death of Godzilla, and it's been so long since I've seen this, and when all of the things get blown up, the little raptor things get blown up, and then Godzilla pops out again, I had completely forgot about that, and I literally said out loud, oh my god. And checked the time on Netflix, and it still had 25 minutes
You've got
left. When Zilla pops out
shit I gotta do now.
of the stadium, there was still 25 minutes, and then they completely ripped the car scene from Jurassic Park.
Should have been an hour.
Wow.
Everything about all of that was just like it tries to hit some of the beats of Jurassic Park, but it doesn't have like the story of it. The stakes are so fucking nothing in this. It seems like they don't even give a shit how many people have definitely died in this mass evacuation. They don't cover that. None of that. Like, it's really weird for me to know, after seeing so many shots of the World Trade Center, how soon the tide turned on this in the real world. And it's like, oh shit. Like, I know they didn't have the availability, but they mentioned the World Trade Center bombing, which was like a few years before. Like, I don't know, man.
Worst tragedy.
Those are pretty big tragedies, and you just blew up the Chrysler building for a gag. So I don't know, man. Like, it seems bad.
Seems bad.
Blame the French. It's all the French's fault.
Oh man. And the problem too, even so, Nick has the most characterization, but nobody really else does.
Does he though?
I mean, I said the most. I'm trying to be as, diplomatic as possible.
My boy,
he kind of Wahlbergs through this movie. He kind of does he's like Wahlberg in The Happening. He's like, what? When Audrey like goes on and like it's clear everybody's looking at him like, oh, you let her know about all this shit, and he's like, what? No. And I was like, Wahlberg, where'd you come from?
Wahlberg.
It's happening.
Where the fuck you come from, Wahlberger?
It's all happening.
It's happening. The happening. Oh,
I can't stop it.
Let's not get me on a Shyamalan rant.
I'm just not big. The thing is, like, this movie was never going to be very like likable for me because I'm just not into this style of movie. Like looking at Roland Emmerich's rap sheet, even his best loved movie is Independence Day. I was never a big fan of that movie. And
Oh, God,
I don't know. Like,
him.
I think that's fine.
Randy's not a patriot, apparently.
I actually might have liked The Patriot more than that, and I haven't seen it since I was a child because that's a smaller scale film with stakes in it, at least.
Yeah, at least they
Like,
have.
I don't know.
Heath Ledger's in that. Yeah, they have
Yeah, he
some
is.
meaningful characters that die. And
Well, they fought like
No
like
way,
they
dude.
have a good
Independence
performance
Day, though,
from
is the
Mel.
best.
I don't know. I'm not big on it, but I mean, I'm just not big on these spectacle movies, and that's absolutely what this is. This is a big budget, balls to the wall explosion fest.
I
And
will
that's,
say,
whatever. Like, it doesn't do it for me.
for someone who just watched Independence Day and really enjoyed it and thought that they handled the CGI in that film very well, this one comparatively, they had a much more difficult job to have this full-scale monster running through New York. That's a big deal as opposed to spaceships, kind of just slowly hovering over a city and then blowing it up. Spoilers. But I just thought that this didn't hold up particularly well. Sometimes it was okay. They made some choices, making all the scenes dark, at night certainly helped them. But
The rain.
the
So you
rain,
give an excuse for why
Constant
all of the
rain.
lizards are so wet looking.
yeah, but
So
that
glossy.
bugged me that everyone was just constantly in the rain on a just visceral level. I was like,
make
oh,
it in
this is
Seattle.
terrible. Get them out of the
At
rain.
least it's known for that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the guy that was originally approached to direct this movie was Jean de Bont, and he was working with Stan Winston to design Godzilla, and he actually created, there's like a 2 or 3 foot mold of what he wanted the creature to look like. It was way more traditional. And the budget ask to do this movie was, I guess, just too much for TriStar to write off on. So they said they shut Stan Winston down, and when they did that, Jean de Bont didn't want to do the movie anymore, who apparently he was like a big Godzilla fan. So they went to Roland Emmerich, and he didn't want to do it. Apparently not a big Godzilla fan. And then they searched around for a while, couldn't find anybody else, went back to Roland Emmerich and was like, look, carte blanche, do whatever the fuck you want to do, just make a fucking Godzilla movie. And he's like, okay, I guess I'll do it. And then we ended up with Frenchzilla instead of anything that even slightly resembles Godzilla to date.
I saw a little clip of him saying, or somebody saying yeah, we just threw out the book on Godzilla and redid it.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you're being honest at least.
They were not.
Yeah, you didn't throw out Jurassic Park though.
Toho gave them a 70-page document with rules and outlines that they should follow to create a Godzilla movie. And I think they it sounds like they tried to work with them eventually, and then they couldn't get anybody to make the movie. And then when they hit up Roland Emmerich for the second time, they're like, fuck it, do whatever you want. And then here we are.
I'm surprised that they allowed that though.
Yeah, so Toho, to be fair, does they have to sign off on the design, the final. They do have to, and they did. Because they knew it was the best Godzilla design they've ever seen in their lives. So that's why they signed off on it. They kept using it. It did. I know this movie catches a lot of shit from big Godzilla fans, and it's debatable whether or not it looks okay or whatever. But it did make money and made Toho money, and did sort of help rejuvenate the franchise for better or worse. It did serve its purpose.
I guess. I mean,
okay.
Did this movie make money or did it not make money?
It did
make money.
Yeah, it was a success. Yeah.
That's honestly, it's a little surprising just because of the amount of marketing we just talked about and just how expensive that would be.
So
I
just
guess it did
looking
pretty
at a
well.
basic search, it looks like the budget was around 130 million, and it says box office made 379 million. So yeah, it made back.
I'm guessing they spent 100 million on ads though too.
So I think actually, from what I was reading, they spent an extra 150 million on merchandising and advertisement. But even at that, it still turned a profit. it was still successful.
That's-
It just didn't
Well,
turn
good for them.
enough of a profit for them to make part
Another
2
one.
and part 3, which initially they did set out with the intention to make a trilogy. They didn't make as much money as they anticipated, so they pivoted and made the animated TV series for kids, and it lasted for 1 season. But it did pick up directly where this movie ended, like directly. Nick Tatopoulos is our guy, not voiced by Broderick, unfortunately, but he is like the main character in the movie. And the one lone little egg that hatches in Madison Square Garden, it hatches while Tatopoulos is standing right next to it, and the little baby Fringezilla sees Tatopoulos and just like imprints that is his mother. So
Except
like,
that's
like
also
it's
just
like-
what happened with all the other
Yeah.
Zillas, and they tried to eat him.
This is not just any Godzilla
True.
egg. This is a Godzuki egg.
but this
Sidekick
one
egg.
worked. I don't know. I mean, if Matthew Broderick was like, "Hey, I'll be your mom," I'd be like, "Tight, that's fine. Let's take the day off."
That's
Hey,
tight. That's
Godzilla.
tight.
Want something to drink?
You're so
That's tight.
chug, Bob.
I'm so chew.
You're so chug, Bob.
I'm chewy.
Yeah.
You want to chew me? Is that what you're saying?
No.
I don't know what you're saying.
Mhm.
I can't understand the words coming out of your mouth. You know what I do like to chew on? A 5-layer burrito from Taco Bell.
Dude, how long
Mm-mm.
did that Chihuahua dog last for Taco Bell? How long before they
I think it
decided
was
that was not okay anymore?
I don't think it was as long as it seems like from our childhood. but
Okay.
It was probably like 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
It was too long.
It's quite a long time.
Definitely too long.
The 90s. There
So let
was some not okay shit going on back then.
What's more American than a goddamn
Dude,
Gordita? Crunch Wrap Supreme.
I'm looking at my notes for other things to talk about, and I
Mexican
actually to your
pizza.
point,
Okay.
to your
Go
point
ahead.
earlier, Bob. I wrote this note that says everyone is treating Broderick like a sex pot or a hopeless dork. He's constantly being covered by the news cameras and over anybody else. Fucking
Yeah.
what's her name looks at and watches him on the news just running through the rain like 3 times, and he's like, this is a you don't want to. Nobody wants to get coverage of the giant hole in this building over here.
They want to get
Nobody-
coverage of my boy Dick Tatopoulos. He's got a fat hog apparently.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to
apparently.
ride. My boy Dick.
And fucking Harry Shearer does like full Kent Brockman in this movie, and like, but he's like being as I don't know, like he's the foil. He's the way we're supposed to feel good about Audrey, like sticking it to the man or whatever, because he's treating her like shit and being very misogynistic. But none of that shit like works. At the end, she just quits. It's like, I don't know, man. It's just what a fucking lackluster storyline, I guess. What does it do for anything?
I want to touch on we're almost, it's almost time to land the damn plane already, but I do want to touch on real quick
Damn.
the platinum soundtrack for
I tried to
Godzilla
listen to that a
1998.
little bit. I tried
Yeah,
to.
I'll not be doing that.
Did
So it's
you,
on Spotify, but around like
kind of
4 or 5 of the tracks, maybe more than that, are
not there.
grayed out. Yeah. The Diddy
You-
track wasn't there.
Oh, I found the Diddy track. I found it on Spotify.
It's not on mine. Okay.
If you want to listen to every song on this soundtrack, you can find it on YouTube. There's a playlist there, or you
Okay.
can buy it on compact disc or whatever.
I actually
this
thought it was
thing-
going to be worse than it was, or worse artist, but it actually had, Rage
It's-
Against the Machine was on there.
Foo
Green Day,
Fighters.
Foo Fighters were on
What a
there.
weird.
P.
blend.
Diddy.
But also there was a weird one.
There's a few.
That little
There's
guy
a
who
few.
plays the piano. What's that guy's name?
That little guy.
The little guy that plays.
Y'all know
the
what I'm
pi-
talking about?
No, I don't know.
You're talking about Ben Fold.
Yeah, Ben Folds.
that
5.
little little guy. Hey there, guy. You want to play piano
Um,
for us?
The
Foo
little
Fighter-
guy.
Silver
Dude,
Oh, Ben.
It's
Silver
got
Shares
the
on there. Joey
Wallflowers.
Deluxe. I don't know who that is.
Dude, the
Oh,
Wallflowers covering Heroes fucking slaps. You got Sean Combs and Jimmy Page
Wallflowers?
on Come With Me fucking slaps. Deeper Underground by Jamiroquai is a
Jamiroquai,
fucking
yeah.
all-time banger. I love the shit out of that song. No Shelter, Rage Against the Machine, Air Ben Folds 5. What else? Fuel is on here with sort of a weird song. We got Foo Fighters with A320, and the real cherry on the top of this fucking Sunday is Green Day featuring Godzilla on Brain Stew.
Oh yeah,
fucking love it.
They
Love
didn't even make a new song for this. They just
No.
Sure.
Somebody made it better with Godzilla's roars. And
yeah,
you owe it to yourself to listen to that.
Oh
You
yeah.
owe it to yourself.
Since we gotta land the plane, how did you guys think about? We didn't really talk about the explanation. One of the positives I thought was the explanation of everything was pretty decent, about the asexual lizards and it being pregnant and why it would be going after these fish and nesting and those kind of, I mean, that was all pretty held together solidly. I think
I laughed at the idea that they just went and got some pregnancy tests.
Yeah, sure. That was,
I laughed.
And like,
that was fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Sure.
my boy Dick's topless. Anytime he finds himself in hot water, first thing he does is like, I better go buy a fucking pregnancy test.
Dude, most people go buy bottled water and toilet paper in an emergency. He's hustling to the fucking family planning aisle.
And that woman is still there just selling shit.
Yeah.
My boy,
honey, this is Long Island. We don't give a fuck about what's going on over there.
You know, that's the American work ethic, and I appreciate the fuck out of it. Okay, can't shut that hot dog stand down. My boy Totopoulos is spreading his seed like I spread fucking spicy mustard, and I respect
the mayor.
it, okay?
The mayor is exactly the mayor from Jaws, except with a Giuliani bent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just the pre-America's Mayor era Giuliani too. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not good, but it's also kind of funny.
Michael Lerner. Every time I see that
like
actor,
him.
I just think fucking blank check. Every time.
Juice.
Yeah, exactly.
We should have brought that bump on. Damn, missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I always think of him because I used to see there was this fucking VHS box at Blockbuster for years and years with him on the front, just doing that "What's going on?" hands, and the name of the movie was "When Do We Eat?" And I was like, there's something about that just made me laugh really, really hard. It's like the lowest stakes movie possible. When do we eat? I don't know.
That, like, you and I, as like 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, had a full-blown conversation about the cover of that VHS.
I'm sure, because it's fucking hilarious. Look it up.
And then played Donkey
funny.
Kong 64 or whatever. When do we eat? I don't know.
Yeah, we had great taste.
Anything else you guys want to touch on before we land this plane?
One more thing. Broderick wearing the Sam Jackson hat. Dumb. Awful.
Oh my God.
Dumb, awful, terrible. That's all.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, all right. Let's go ahead and rate this.
Well, all right.
This American classic out of 5. Juice, why don't you kick us off? How do you feel about Godzilla 1998?
Yeah, it wasn't the worst thing to watch, except that it was so long. If this had been cut down to even 145, I could have tolerated it a lot more, but I did constantly check the time and say out loud, oh my God. There's no reason for this to be nearly 2.5 hours long. A lot of this shit is stolen, and they just do some of the same scenes twice. There's no reason to do the chase of Godzilla through New York when you know you're going to do a car chase scene. There's just no reason to do the same plan, the same visuals twice. They took forever to set this up. For as long as they set this up, I cannot believe there's not any deeper characters for us to follow. That's when they should have been developing someone for us to care about, or someone that's believable. Broderick does okay, but that he's the only one close enough to have any kind of character development, and even that's not super deep or developed. I cannot believe how long this is with no characters. And, the CGI just doesn't hold up super well through most scenes. Sometimes, for what they got to do, it looks okay. But because they have to feature this huge monster in these wacky situations, a lot of times it just doesn't look good. And the choppers flying through New York doesn't look good, doesn't hold up. The rain bothered the shit out of me. The raptors, just so much stolen. So many of the raptor scenes stolen. So many times where they wanted to make Godzilla just the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. The car chase scene, so much of that just stolen. So overall, I can't rate this super high. I definitely don't think it's the worst thing. I'm super happy Rob got his moment. I'm really glad somebody picked this movie for us to cover. It's no Ghost, but I mean, it's got some value for 90s kids, super nostalgic, but it just didn't hold up in any kind of real significant way. So I'll be generous and leave this with a 2 out of 5. Bob?
2 out of 5.
Yeah,
Right.
out of 5. Oh my lord. Here we go. Out of 5.
Somebody's
Bob,
about to game the fucking system here.
Yeah, how do you feel about Godzilla 1998?
Sounds like my boy Juice is not a true American patriot. Hates Godzilla
I am not.
1998. Hates America. That's what I'm hearing. I won't have it. I won't have it in my goddamn house. My goddamn Godzilla house won't have it. This is the most American film ever made in the history of films. We got my boy Roland Emmerich. My boy Roland Emmerich, we had to import him, but goddamn it, he made ID4, he made Godzilla, he made The Patriot, he later made White House Down. Most patriotic director we've ever seen.
Have you seen
the
that
history
film?
of our country? You know what, Randu? You'll get your time to shine. Let me finish. Let me
That's
finish.
a dodge.
We got this story about tacos, story about toys, story about trademark infringement, story about America. Godzilla's got a story to tell. We got we had to wrestle the rights of Godzilla out of the Japanese hands and finally resurrect this franchise from the dumps. They made 22 movies that absolutely fucking suck. The 23rd film is absolute perfection. We got our boy Matthew Broderick, true American hero, starring the man knows when to take a day off. We can all take a note from my boy Matthew Broderick. We got my boy Gene Reno coming in representing the slick French. He does a good job. He's got a pretty solid Elvis impersonation going on, but he chews way too much gum and talks way too much shit about my Folger, so I don't appreciate it. We got Frenchzilla, bigger than ever. No matter what your meters say, he's the biggest goddamn Zilla we ever have seen in our lives, and he's going to be the biggest we ever do see. We got the might, the unrelenting might of the American military. If we don't understand it, we fucking blast it. We come in blasting and we don't stop blasting until it's dead. And that's the story of Godzilla. And then afterwards, we got to cash in on the marketing and the merchandising. We got to make tacos. We got to sell them. We got to make toys. We got to sell them. We got to fucking cash in on the utes, all of the utes. And that's what America's all about.
How many more minutes is this review?
It's all about exploitation.
Is the bit?
It's all about cutting corners. It's all about capitalization. And then when you make millions of dollars and decide that it's just still not quite enough, you take your toys and you go on home. That's the story of America. 5 stars, flawless film. Highly recommend from your boy Bob. Randy, how do you feel?
Randy, take it down.
I feel like I just saw it. I just saw the opposite of a Type
66.
5. Yes. So this is a terrible film made by a director whose very goal is stated as being, I want to make popcorn films. Fine. I do not have a big crux against that. I think that the marketing giant that happened around this and everything else, like the size of it, the scale of the production and all that stuff, is way overblown for what they got. Like Justin said, the fact that they had all these resources, all this at their disposal, and these are the characters that came out of it. This is the story that came out of it. The dumbest shit possible, with fucking the U.S. military just blasting rail guns through fucking downtown New York buildings wildly. Like, unless you are making a commentary about the inefficacy and shittiness of the military in that moment, which they don't and take no criticisms towards America, then that is a just dumb scene where we're praising quote unquote heroes for doing the dumbest possible fucking thing. And I don't like it. This movie sort of thing is not built for me. It's not made for me, really. Like, it's just not up my wheelhouse. But that said, like Justin, I totally agree with Justin that, like, if you trimmed this down to a tight 90 minutes, maybe less, then it could at least be enjoyable. I can enjoy a Sharknado. You know what I mean? Like, I like Jurassic Park. I like at least 2 of the Jurassic Parks. And all that said, like, this movie does not do the good things about those movies. It does not have anything to say about anything except for the explosions. Its entire marketing is saying, hey, you know that movie you like? We're doing it, but there's going to be goddamn more explosions. And, you know, that's not speaking to my inner demons. That does nothing for me. So, yeah, it's a dumb thing. And I can understand why people might get off on it for like a popcorn flick or whatever. Yeah. But I don't think that it even fully accomplishes that goal because of its length and because it fails to do the thing that makes those action movies, that grounds those action movies in something relatable. I don't relate to anybody in this fucking movie. Everybody acts fucking weird. Everybody's making the one-liners. It just doesn't work, man. It's bad. Here are some notes from my from my list of notes that are terrible. Love Broderick, hate this role. Why is the name Tatopolis treated like the worst, dumbest name ever? Michael Lerner as basically Rudy Giuliani is a good pull. They quote, the worst disaster since the World Trade Center bombing. Oof. News guys lamenting about Disney stores being looted in Times Square as we see a giant hole in a skyscraper, certainly causing the deaths of hundreds. Seems pretty true to life. So, you know, they got that one right. Let's see. Why are they trying to keep Godzilla on the Isle of Manhattan? Broderick is out here giving orders to soldiers, being a scientist, and getting back yes sirs. People just doing what Broderick says because he's sexy enough, I guess. They're doing a Star Wars, except like it destroys the Chrysler building. They had that trench run against fucking Godzilla at one point in this movie. Just shooting wildly into buildings now. Music is aiming for John Williams, but has the cadence of the scenes are more like Trimmers. Let's see. This pharmacy is open as if there's not a major disaster because major genocide happening just across the river. Dude still has his ex's picks up as equipment 8 years later. That's pretty pathetic. Okay, so the French squad managed all this espionage but can't put a car into gear? He has to be told how to put a car into gear. They're just inventing reasons for Nick to speak and be correct. I'm going to cut it off there. The CG sucks. The acting is bad or is given nothing to work with. And the explosions are repetitive and stupid. And the CG sucks. Did I say that? The CG sucks.
And it has a big butt, and its butt is stinky.
It's a stinky butt movie.
It shits into its own butt, and it shits it again. It's just perpetually shitting on its own shit.
Damn.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know
5
how
stars.
else. I don't hear anything incorrect about that except for the stars. It's a 2-star thing. I give it 2 stars because I can understand somebody enjoying this. I can understand it being marketed towards kids and stuff. It just doesn't work for me really at all. I don't think it hits its goals even, and their goals are pretty medium.
Extra medium.
Yeah.
So that's a 3-star, Bomb.
Yeah, well, I'd like to apologize on behalf of my 2 co-hosts here. They're missing the glory that is Godzilla 1998. We had to pull this fucking franchise out of the depths, resurrect it, make it as glorious as it could possibly be. It should have been a 5-star. I apologize.
3
It is a
is
3-star.
way more.
Ooh, she's a fancy
Way-
flapjack.
Way more
Way
fair
too
than.
low. Let's see what the critics and users
This
have
movie's
to say about
boring. Can I put that out
Godzilla.
there? It's a boring movie.
Godzilla 1998 Randu. Let's do it.
What? All right.
Your segment. We're doing it.
You can't throw off our game, Bob. Okay.
Shit's just
I mean,
gonna
I
happen.
made
Gotta
it pretty
roll.
clear. I thought.
You can't be
Randu?
fucking us up like that, Bob.
Take it.
So here's our Rotten Tomatoes segment, ladies and gentlemen, in which I'm going to give these 2 gents the chance to guess within the best of their abilities what the critic and user score is for Godzilla 98. We're going to start with the critics' reviews, as we usually do. There are how many? 80 reviews counted, so not a whole ton here. We'll start with Juice this week. Juice, where do you think the critics are going to come in for this film?
Oh God, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be high. But I just don't know. I'll take the comedy number of 69 just
69 dudes.
There you go. Yeah, 69.
All right. Excellent. Bob, where are you going to land on this? Critics.
I do not think this is a critical darling. 69 is man, I guess I'll $1 up with a 70. I'll take a 70, I guess.
70. You didn't seem very confident in that.
I'm not.
I don't really know where this is going to go either, to be fair. I don't really know.
I am baffled by that because the tomatometer is 16%.
Holy
Juice.
shit. Oh my God. That is so.
That's much
16%.
lower than I anticipated. Damn, I thought it would
Wow.
be. I thought it would be
69,
higher than 50.
Yeah,
That's almost a C rating.
Yeah, but it was
Wow.
kind of a blockbuster, which as much as I don't know. So okay,
A
well,
Critics.
either way, hell yeet.
That's. I feel like that's unfair. Like a 16. I don't know.
Is that fair?
Oh, is it
200.
lower than your 5-star,
and it's-
Bob?
I feel cheated personally by this critics score.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pleased to hear it. All right. 250,000 plus audience ratings to choose from here, boys. There are 250,000 plus. Start with Bob this time. Where do you think the audience is going to fall on this one?
Oh man.
And I think it's going to be higher than the critics. Probably not much higher. Goddamn, 16. I'll take a 40%.
40%. All right. Juice, how about yourself?
Yeah, that 16 really threw me off, and I don't know how hard the old Godzilla fans are going to be coming after this thing. So I'll drop it low, and I won't do $1 down. I'll say 35.
35. $5 down.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good call. 28% is our audience score.
Whoa, that's a hell
Jeez.
yeet sweet, Bob.
Jeez, that's.
Where's your 5-star now, Bob?
Those Patriots are drying up on you, Bob. What
This
can I say?
hell
Should've been-
yeet sweet.
Should have been a double hundo. Was what it should have been.
Mhm. What country
Everybody's
do you-
wrong.
What country do you think the hell yeet sweet belongs to, Bob?
Oh, that's full blown America. Like, come on. You can order that at Taco Bell drive-through and it costs you $2.50.
Now Godzilla fits in a Taco Bell kids meal.
There you go.
All right. The critics' consensus reads as follows. Without compelling characters or heart, Godzilla stomps on everything that made the original or any monster movie worth its salt a classic.
Any monster movie that's ever been made.
Can you
Nah.
can you outside of character look me in the eyeball and tell me that this movie has heart? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, we're moving on. All right. That's the answer I expected. Here's some negative reviews, and they're
I
guaranteed to
couldn't
be
do
a
it.
little bit funnier for this dumb movie. All right.
Dumb.
The sole purpose of this product was to make more money than anything else before it, generate a reflexive response immune to critical and public opinion, then let it creep back to the mediocre sea. Damn. All right. Let's see. After a promising start, the movie falls apart almost as soon as Godzilla arrives in Manhattan. Despite all the flash and filigree, this monster movie is curiously and conspicuously lacking in heart. So yeah, that's a pretty consistent argument. Ferris Bueller, this is a user. Ferris Bueller, you're not my hero. Dear sweet baby Jesus, was this a bad movie? The lead track from the soundtrack was a P. Diddy rap song sampling Led Zeppelin's Kashmir, and I'm just not going to hit show more. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I don't need to read that whole one. I have no idea how long it is. Yeah, it's a bad movie, and most people agree on that. And democracy.
All right, Bob, sorry.
Yep, there it is.
There it is.
I've got quite a bit of trivia. Let's go ahead and
Wait.
get into
Before we
it.
do that, should we have a listen to what our boy Brandon had to say about this movie? What?
Yes.
We should have already done that.
Yeah.
So now it's weird.
Let's. It's fine. Behind the scenes, Brandon, why
don't we just record that really quickly?
Yeah, let's do it really quickly. But we said everyone remind each other to play this. We literally said everyone remind each other.
The fact that it came to me to remind us is a bad
I
sign.
know.
It should never come down to me, the person
who
can't remember what I fucking ate for breakfast.
We need to get in that pattern better. Okay. It's July. We're just, we're working out the kinks.
All right. Yeah. So this,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just going to do it. So something we've been doing that's new this year for You Pick the Flick members on Patreon, we're encouraging you guys to send in a voicemail or an email with your thoughts and rating and review on the movie that you choose for us to talk about. This movie was chosen by Brandon, and he did send us a voicemail. Let's go ahead and listen to what Brandon has to say.
Hey, what up, boys? It's Brandon. I'm just calling in about my You Pick Godzilla 98. I'm pretty stoked to get you guys to watch this. Not in the sense that it's a good movie by any means. I mean, rewatching it, it's definitely like lost its appeal a bit, but I still love it. I mean, it came out in 1998. I was born in 1994, so when the marketing for this movie was around, it was wild. Like, I'd be like, whoa, it would be like, he's as big as a building, and there's like a leg on the side of a bus or whatever. So you're seeing shit like that everywhere. And as a 4-year-old, you're like, holy shit. And I was big into dinosaurs. So like seeing this, I was like, it's blowing my mind. Fast forward, like, I don't know, 8-10 years. Me and my buddies, like, we would hang out almost every weekend. I would stay at their house and we would rent a movie. And like 9 times out of 10, we would rent this movie. So I probably watched this movie like at least 20 times when I was with them. Like, we would rent it, no joke, at least twice a month. We loved it. But yeah, revisiting, I mean, it's definitely not top tier kaiju film at all. In the sense of like, first, just in a movie in general, first off, the accents in this movie, rough, not good. The scene where the fisherman's out at the lake or at the ocean, it's like, the Godzilla's coming in and he's like running away, and then he's like the boards hit and the other 2 fishermen look at each other, and I almost expected them to like pull out a bottle of booze and be like, never again. Like, the acting was just so bad. And then just, I mean, seeing Godzilla, it's such a different design to what you're used to seeing. When I was younger, obviously, it's the first Godzilla I'd seen, so I was like, oh, this is badass. But then, like, seeing it now, it's like, okay, well, it lost a lot of that. And then the fact that it's like, we're going to give you Godzilla for half the movie, and then the other half is going to be a bunch of baby Godzillas in a coliseum. So that was sort of stupid. I mean, it just took away from, like, it's a kaiju movie, and I don't want to watch a bunch of baby, like, kaiju running around. They're not that scary. So, but I mean, all out of everything, I still give it like a 2.5. Yeah, a 2.5, I think. Like, it was still fun to watch, but just looking at it from like a movie review side of things, it's definitely like not a great movie, but I still had fun watching it. I would definitely watch it again. I cannot.
All right, we're going to have to hit the tape to side 2.
Part 2, bitches. I got cut off. I'll keep it really short. Like I said, 2.5. Not in the fact that I didn't enjoy it. I did really enjoy watching it again. It was great to revisit. I'm happy that I made you guys watch it and everyone else suck it. But just on a movie standpoint side of things, like acting, visuals, everything like that, wasn't amazing. So yeah, like I said, 2.5, awesome. Thanks again, guys, for the pick. It's great. I'm glad that you guys do shit like this and everything else you guys do for your Patreon. So yeah, badass. Excited to see what else is on the way. Peace.
Brandon, thanks very much, buddy.
Yeah,
and I'm
thank
so
you,
sorry
Brandon.
that your parents had to watch this movie that many times. Real shame.
I am glad, because Bob's been pitching this for a while, and it was inevitable that somebody was going to pick this out of pity for Bob. But I am glad that it was somebody who enjoyed
Out
this
of
film.
respect.
Yeah, it has a
History with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I get what he's saying. And like, if you have nostalgia for this movie, I totally get that. Like, I was of the age where if it had hit me just right, I would have been in the same boat. But I was not like super into the dinosaurs thing, and I don't know. But this one just didn't work for me, and it didn't work for me anyway. You know what works for me is fucking like Cloverfield. Give me some way of immersing myself. If you can't do it with the characters, then do it with the fucking camera work. Do it with something. I don't know. That's what this movie lacks for me. But
yeah.
Thanks, Brandon.
And this movie came out the year I was born, so I wasn't privy to all the marketing campaigns and all that kind of stuff. So
This was similar to Brandon. This was my introduction to Godzilla, and it definitely like hit home for me. I fucking was like 10 years old when this movie came out and loved it. And I don't know, I was just like way into Jurassic Park before this too, and this in a way was definitely like cashing in on that, and was sort of like in a way a continuation of that. I was very interested in it, and it's like right place, right time. So yeah, I don't know, it's got a hefty dose of nostalgia for me in a way that I feel like it probably does with Brandon as well, and with certain other folks. But like, is it the greatest movie I've ever seen? No. Is it the most American movie I've ever seen? Yeah, turns out it really kind of is.
I mean, I think you've got a pretty strong claim there, but the same director made Independence Day and The Patriot. So
I know.
Kind of feel like maybe those have a leg up. Anyway.
I don't know. This is neither here nor there. Thank you, Brandon, for calling in. Thanks for picking this flick.
Thanks,
we
Brandon.
really do appreciate it, man. For real. Yeah.
I be stroking.
We got a pile of trivia. Let's go ahead and get into it.
All right.
It's totally time for trivia.
Oh, boys. Strap in, because we got a lot.
we got a strap on.
So this movie apparently features more Simpson voice actors than any other project besides The Simpsons.
There's at least 3.
Yeah, you got Hank Azaria, Harry Shearer, and Nancy Cartwright. So those are.
So it was just the 3.
Yeah, The Simpsons later
fucking
did a Godzilla parody called Homerzilla, and they reference that Homerzilla received a Hollywood remake that failed, which was really just a jab at this movie.
Well,
yeah, there you go.
Simpsons. I don't know if Simpsons should be calling anybody out for failing these days, but that's just me.
Yeah. Despite the less than expected box office performance, this movie still made more money worldwide than any other American movie based on a foreign film until the release of Godzilla 2014, which then topped it.
All right.
In pretty much every conceivable way.
Yeah. Producer Dean Devlin claimed that because TriStar was very secretive about the actual design of Godzilla, the studio created unique fake designs and sent them to different merchandising manufacturers, which was done to test whether the companies could be trusted or not. After Fruit of the Loom leaked images of Godzilla on the internet in November 1997, they lost their license to sell Godzilla-related apparel.
No wonder I didn't have those underoos.
And
I need Cotzilla on my fucking whitey tighties.
You were leaking it on the internet in 1997. 50 people saw that image, and you lost your license because of that shit.
Yeah, you're probably right. Could have been on my 10-year-old ass. Just fucking Godzilla's wiener.
I get why they're doing that to some extent, but at the same time, it's like these people. Like the fact that you sent that out, that means some designer somewhere, some artist is trying to render a Godzilla that cannot be used in merchandising because it is not what he looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. Kind of wasted time, huh?
Yeah.
Halfway through a screening of this movie, I apologize for my mispronunciation here. Kinkakurio Satsuma, who played Godzilla from 1985 to 1995, walked out saying, "It's not Godzilla. It doesn't have the spirit."
Yeah.
Yes.
It's America.
Correct.
Yeah, very true.
No spirit
As
there.
America's spirit.
Godzilla's creator Tomoyuki Tanaka passed away only 1 month before production began on this movie. Tanaka was not just the producer of every prior Godzilla film, but also the producer of various masterpieces by renowned filmmakers Akira Kurosawa, Mikio Narusi, and Kon Ichikawa. This movie is dedicated to Tanaka. So that's nice.
All right. Yeah, I saw that, but it was a pretty small dedication, but sure.
Yeah. Mayor Ebert and his assistant Gene are a parody of the TV film critic duo Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel. This was in response to their negative reviews of Roland Emmerich's prior films Stargate and Independence Day. I guess they were just shitting all over those movies, which I didn't realize. Like, I don't really know why, but I guess they did.
You don't? Okay.
I mean, I like Independence Day. I don't really recall
I know
Stargate
people
very
do.
well. So I don't know.
I don't remember that one much either, but whatever.
I will say that Audrey, the woman who played Audrey, I don't know if this just absolutely tanked her career because she did nothing after this.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's a damn shame.
Bummer.
Damn shame. She
although-
like anybody deserves better than this being their biggest role.
Yeah.
Nobody deserves that.
Although plans for a sequel in which the surviving Godzilla hatchling was to be relocated to Australia fell through. The Japanese Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All-Out Attack from 2001, does make a reference to this movie in its opening scene. In the scene, military men discuss a monster that attacked New York some years before. One of them asks if it was Godzilla, only for his partner to respond that Americans think so, but the Japanese officials believe it was a different monster. The, quote, American Godzilla is now simply referred to as Zilla, also appearing, terrorizing Sydney in Godzilla Final Wars in 2004, which,
Hell yeah.
there you go.
You don't know
can
what
see
death
that.
is.
He gets his ass whooped.
Apparently so, yeah.
I mean, deservedly. Who like that's
I
a
love
real
that they
underdog
brought him
tale if he
back
came
for that though. That shit is
just to
pretty
have his
funny.
ass beat. Yeah.
That show is pretty funny.
I started blasting. My boy Jean de Bont was signed on to direct this in 1994. His dream cast for the film was Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. He later cast them for his film Twister in 1996.
Hell yeah, that's another movie we got to cover on here.
Significantly better film.
Yeah.
Hips don't lie.
They don't.
The hips,
And-
they just don't fucking lie.
An action figure line was produced to coincide with the movie's release by a company called Trin Masters. They have previously released toys based on classic Godzilla movies. The merchandise originally sold well, although consumers' interest quickly dropped once the movie hit theaters and shops were left with an overstock of unwanted toys. Due to this, stores canceled their orders for Trin Masters' upcoming Godzilla toy line based on Godzilla the series, which was the cartoon, and eventually drove the company to bankruptcy.
Dude, speaking of toys, you guys remember Small Soldiers, which also came out this same
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cover that as well.
Definitely.
Boy,
Do
there was
we?
some there was a
we?
very specific kind of cheese that was on
Yeah.
Blockbuster cinemas at the time.
Yeah,
And it was
I don't
all
know, it's
about
tough to
selling
describe.
merchandise.
selling some toys
Yeah.
to some kids. You gotta exploit those
It's
children.
Got
it's
to.
genuinely shocking that they didn't make a Transformers movie before they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the 1998 Golden Raspberry Awards, the film was nominated for 5 Razzies, including Worst Picture, Worst Director, Worst Screenplay. It took home 2 overall for Maria Pitillo as Worst Supporting Actress and for the film as Worst Remake or Sequel.
Yeah, that all tracks.
Yeah.
every time I stop and think about this movie, there's more questions where I'm like, why the fuck? Why did they call in a worm specialist to this thing? If it was supposed to be about radiation, they didn't cover that really ever again.
Well,
So
he was in Chernobyl.
Why is he able to
researching the effects of radiation on worms specifically?
Yeah.
So-
Right. And they bring him in specifically because of that. And he like is able to order Marines and shit around.
Well, I mean, that doesn't make sense.
Based
But he
on
was
that.
studying the effects of radiation on animals.
They don't have is like I don't know, that is that redheaded woman a biologist? Like, was there somebody there who was more directly tied to the idea?
Nobody knows. It doesn't
I don't
matter.
know.
Nothing matters. This movie apparently remains very unpopular among American Godzilla fans, but it is generally very popular in other countries. In Sweden, this was the most well-known Godzilla movie, whereas the original Japanese films had been mostly unknown before their inclusion in the Criterion Collection. Holla. It also became a major box
God.
office sensation and a beloved cult classic in Hungary, where the Japanese movies are still unavailable. It also made more
What?
money and made more money in that country than all 4 of Legendary Pictures' MonsterVerse movies combined. And its 20th anniversary was also celebrated at Sony's Hungarian summer screening event in 2018. It is also the most popular Godzilla film in Ukraine, while the Japanese movies are considered cheesy and embarrassing. So some people do like this movie in other countries.
Damn. This is not cheesy or embarrassing.
Apparently not.
Interesting. European style.
Very European style.
Man.
I'll do 2 more real quick here and then I'll wrap up. Although the budget is estimated to have been $130 million, if we include the famously expansive US marketing, some speculate that the final number might reach up to $170 million. Merchandising released by the 250 business partners added approximately $150 million to the movie's overall cost, although the picture was a, quote, mild success, raking in close to $380 million worldwide. This was much less than what the studio anticipated, and the tie-in merchandising produced disastrous sales, apparently. With one exception being the movie's highly successful platinum soundtrack.
Highly successful. Damn.
Thanks, P. Diddy and Green Day, etc., etc., etc.
Oh my God.
Last thing I got here. In this film, Godzilla has a visible cloaca, which is an opening found in reptiles and other animals, which is used for both urination, defecation, reproduction, and laying eggs. Located at the base of the tail, it is most visible in the scene where Victor attempts to take photographs of Godzilla while it treads around him. Hey, bro, don't tread on me, says Animal. That's it.
Dude.
That's all I got.
That's
it.
He has something in common with the sea pig we learned today.
The sea pig.
Dude, that video is classic.
When in doubt, cloaca. All right, it is time to talk Cooter of the Week. Let's do it.
Straight chillin'. Cooter of the Week.
Juice, what is a cooter and why do we hunt them?
Oh, Cooter's characters. I've been a straight Sean exclusive. Cooter must hit 3 of these 5 points to be considered a Cooter, and we want a Cooter with the most points. The 5 points of Cooterdom are sexual deviance, manipulation, smug arrogance, overall look and attire, and overall patheticness. Boys, do we have a Zilla Cooter?
I think we might have one.
All right, hit me, Randy.
I'm going after Harry Shearer, aka Kent Brockman, aka our news anchor.
Okay.
In this film.
All right.
I think for starters, like he's very much painted as like the definition of a misogynist prick boss who wants to sleep with the talent, quote unquote, so they can carry on with their career. That strikes the sexual deviant chord right away.
Yeah, and manipulation.
I would say, and manipulation and arrogance. So he kind of like threefers that, and doesn't really. And he also skeeves out her story from under her, which is pretty fucked up and pretty manipulative in and of itself. As far as looking attire, he looks like any other 90s fucking on-air
Reporter.
talent, whatever. And then what was last?
Patheticness, overall patheticness.
I would give him a little patheticness for all of that. Like,
especially
it's
at the
kinda
end
tough.
when he's like, "We got the story." Yeah.
Yep.
Ugh.
So he's my number one for this particular movie. I don't think there's a lot of characters that are rounded enough to really make this call, though, and he is just like painted so terribly that he becomes an obvious choice because of that.
He is. We could also consider maybe the mayor. Maybe.
What do we
But
got for him?
maybe patheticness. Nobody
Mhm.
really listens to him or respects him, and he really also to a smug arrogance, the way he kind of pushes around his right hand man who he clearly needs but just abuses just out of like his own patheticness.
Yeah.
I guess.
If they wanted that character to pop, man, they would have hired the guy who played Pappy O'Daniel in Oh Brother Where Art Thou. That's all I'm saying.
And he was in
That's
the
the
Scarecrow movie as well.
Yeah,
That's
he's in
a
a bunch
movie
of
we
shit.
should cover. Oh,
Dark.
brother.
What? Oh, okay. I was
We
gonna
should cover
say,
Oh,
yeah.
Brother.
It's about the devil.
I've heard it's the most American movie.
That.
Yeah. So I don't know about him though. Like,
damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sexual deviancy, no. Some manipulation. To some extent, he doesn't really. He's pretty forthright with his shittiness.
Yeah.
He's like the mayor of Jaws, but he doesn't really mince words. He's like, I want those businesses fucking open. Like,
yeah.
why are we doing this? I asked for nothing. It's like he's like, I'd go down in history as the mayor who evacuated all of Manhattan for no reason. It's like, no reason. At this point, multiple buildings have collapsed to the ground.
Also, they haven't even recovered the body yet. He's like, get those people back in there.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
there's rubble everywhere.
Yeah.
There's buildings.
They have to go to the bodega.
They can't be stable. Also, the company's just got looted like crazy. I mean, take some time. It's okay.
Get them in there. We gotta have them buying at that Disney store. Yeah, so that's ridiculous, but like smug arrogance, I guess, would be the go-to for him. Looking attire is fine. Patheticness, maybe a little bit. Manipulation, very little. Really pretty forthright. I don't know if he hits as hard.
Yeah, and I don't really know if there's anybody. You might be able to consider Audrey a little bit. She's manipulative.
I think she's too. I don't think she's depicted as smart enough to really be that manipulative.
I mean,
think
she's
just being led around.
manipulates him.
She's manipulative.
She does, but
for
she
sure.
does so by being manipulated by her friends who are like, you gotta be tough, honey.
Yeah,
and all this shit.
Not super hard, but I think she's manipulative, and we could give her pathetic, and maybe that's it.
That might be about it.
That might be it, but she's definitely manipulative.
That's her hardest hit for sure, and for me, it's like, I don't know.
Just a big old softy.
It's just kind of nothing. It's just kind of a lot of nothing, and it's like she just does things to create the illusion that there's a plot at play.
Yeah. Nah. All right. Well, I think that's it. I think we got our cooter, Kent Brockman.
Yeah. Kent Brockman. You're
Mr.
a cooter of the
Brockman,
week, buddy.
Mr.
Locked him up.
Mr. Brockman, we got him.
Absolutely devastating. Absolutely devastating.
Actually, what is that character's name? We got to be accurate here. I don't know.
Do we? Why start now?
Charles Kamen, maybe?
Kamen, yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
like
I think
island.
it is. Yeah.
Just like the island.
Nailed him. Fucking locked him up.
Lock his ass up.
Yeah. All right, boys. Let's skip what we've been watching this week. Let's go ahead and round the show out with our hotline screams.
Hotline screams.
If you are listening and would like to call in and leave a voicemail to be featured on next week's show, hit us up at 904-638-3231. We got 3 voicemails we're going to be listening to this week. First up, we're going to hear from our boy Matt. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hey, Straight Chillin' crew, it's Matt. I was calling about your prompt from a week or two ago about what non-horror movie would you like to see as a horror movie. And I thought about it all week, and I think I'm going to go with Legend with Tim Curry and Tom Cruise, and maybe even Willow. There hasn't been a lot of dark horror fantasy, and I'd like to see more of that. I mean, Tim Curry is literally the fucking devil in Legend, and I think they could do a lot of, build a lot of suspense and set a tone of despair, if they just wanted to lean that way. I think the closest we ever got to it was Pan's Labyrinth, and when the Green Knight came out, I was really hoping for that type of movie, and it fell a little short for me. But anyway, that's my two answers. And if y'all can think of any movie in that tone, I'd really like to know the name so I can go look it up. All right, man. Have a good week.
That's a pretty good call. A dark fantasy film could work really nicely.
There was one, it's not necessarily fantasy, but it had Sean Bean in it. Do y'all remember what that movie was called?
Sean Bean?
Sean Bean.
There was okay. Maybe you're thinking of The Black Death. Is that it?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
The one where he's it's like Knights though. Like it's not so much. I don't remember if there was any. I can't remember much about that movie now. But was there
it's like the plague.
Magic elements going on, or was it just medieval?
I can't remember exactly. I just remember he was in it.
Okay.
And it was kind of that, like you said, knights and that kind of era, and maybe there was some witchcraft going on. I just can't remember it too well, but I remember thinking it was a pretty solid movie.
I was thinking this is not really fantasy, but I was thinking about the prompt again, and I think maybe, and this is already kind of close, but I think Edward Scissorhands might be a good pull for that, because that's a pretty family-friendly movie, and it's mostly it's just like the Tim Burton thing. It's got his aesthetic, so it's got a little darkness around the edges. The story's a little bit dark. It's a Frankenstein story, but if they had gone whole hog into the horror aspect, even right at the end or something, I think that could be pretty cool. But I don't know. I kind of feel like it's good the way it is too. So
Black Death, 2010. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Sean Bean. Guess what happens?
He
Just
lives.
He lives to tell the tale of the Black Death.
I'm trying to think. There's gotta be some good fantasy.
I just don't know a lot. There just really aren't that many fantasy movies in general. At least none that are just strictly fantasy. Because you've got Star Wars and things like that, which are widely considered fantasy. But I don't know. And even the MCU stuff you could consider fantasy, to some extent. But we haven't seen.
But I
too
get
much
what you mean with
the
Green Knight expectations and wanting it. But yeah, you're right. There's not, because I mean, what we watched, the Wicker Man kind of has a little bit of that feel.
Folk horror stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not quite.
The Dark Crystal-ish.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but that people do feel that movie. I've seen arguments about how horror adjacent that movie is.
Yeah, I think so. I watched it as a kid and it scared the shit out of me.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Oh, Van Helsing, of course.
Oh, god damn.
Ferngully?
Yeah, actually, that's got a couple scary scenes with that oil monster.
Yeah, but it does. Yeah, a couple.
Yeah. It's pretty good for animation at the time.
I never watched that Hansel and Gretel movie, but I think it was doo-doo. So
no, it's all right. Actually,
is it okay? Bad. Well, then there you go. Hansel and Gretel.
It's not like a banger, but it's worth watching.
Yeah,
definitely the obvious existing
Sleepy Hollow
is The Witch.
The Beach, Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow. Yeah.
But now we're just finding fantasy horror.
The Sleepy Mang.
I know.
Sure.
They could,
but nothing a whole lot with knights and stuff or medieval kind of horror. Not a lot of that.
I want to see some hobbits getting slaughtered by a slasher. Dang. Let's see that one. Let's do the Hobbit.
Army of
Desolation
Darkness.
of my ass.
The Underworld, of course.
The Hobbit hobbling.
Rise of the Lycans.
the worst of all.
You don't know, Bob. We haven't covered it yet.
That movie.
I refuse to
You
believe
don't
that there's a
know.
difference.
We haven't covered it yet.
There is a moderate
What is it? A different
difference?
shade of blue?
Dracula
The gel is
Untold.
slightly different.
One day we're gonna do a trip split of all the underworlds that we have not.
We
covered
gotta
yet.
do Dracula 2000.
I'm on suicide watch that day.
Dracula Untold. That's all I could pull up.
What are we doing? Yeah. Thanks for calling in, Matt. Hopefully, at least one of those is a movie that you might want to watch.
Oh wait, real quick. Randy mentioned this a couple years ago when we did a top thing at Hagazuzu or whatever.
Hagazusa?
Hagazusa.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen it, but actually I remember Randy mentioning it and I still want to check it out.
It's worth a look.
Yeah. Worth a look. Thanks for calling in, Matt. Watch some of those, maybe. I don't know. Let us know what you think. Next up, we're gonna hear from my boy Tom. Let's hear what Tom has to say.
You motherfuckers, it is 97 fucking degrees outside. It is not even close to spooky season. Shut the fuck up and stop giving me fake hope, you goddamn pieces of shit.
Pumpkins.
Tom, you know, Tom lives in Florida, right? He's in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
Tom, you fucking know that October 31st is going to roll around and you can wear goddamn shorts in Jacksonville. So I don't want to hear that.
If you're waiting for the cold snap, buddy,
Yeah.
you're going to be waiting till Christmas.
There is no, you're waiting till January 18th to wear a hoodie. So don't even come at me, bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Sorry, Tom. This is officially spooky season as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I'm gonna be starting to watch my spooky stuff soon. I think I was gonna ease myself in with Goonies. We're talking about movies that ease you into the spooky season.
Oh yeah,
because that's right on the cusp of fall, and
that's
quite
good.
summery at the same time.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Kids on Bikes movies. Yeah.
Coraline's it going because it's got kind of pictures of autumn a little bit, but it doesn't really focus on it a lot. It's a little rainy, a little cooler. They got to wear jackets, but that's a pretty good one, I think, too.
I am not easing myself into it. I'm probably just gonna keep watching Friday the 13th. Like it's 100 degrees. Like I can't get into fall yet. I'll wait for mid-September and then I'll really get into it myself. I feel your pain, Tom. I feel your pain. Last but not least, we're going to hear from our boy Corey. Let's hear what he has to say.
What is up, Straight Chillin' crew? It's Chaboy Corey Torgerson calling in from the depths of Central Florida. Bob said I only got 15 minutes for this entry, so I gotta make this quick. I'll start by saying Godzilla 98 is a top 10 in the franchise for me. If I had to guess, it's either my second or third most viewed film ever. It is also the unexpected phoenix rising up from two countries' ashes. First proposed in 1983, then given no serious thought until 92, with a guaranteed release date set for 93. Toho was done with this money pit of a franchise and spent the next few years throwing their collective farts against a cabinet, not even caring if they would stick. This was America's problem now, and the most we could muster was a Charles Barkley commercial. Then, years later, and out of nowhere, Emmerich and Devlin ride the wave of epic American military tale Independence Day to bring the populace the first Godzilla film in what many thought had been about 30 years. On the Japanese end, Toho had the final say in the creature design, and the movie's release in general. TriStar had to follow specific rules. Though the design was certainly shocking upon reveal, Toho understood that this creature was the one that would take Godzilla to the moon. Again, anyways. Obviously, not everyone who ever worked with Godzilla was happy with this handover, but not everyone hated it. This was an opportunity to get Godzilla off of Svengoolie and back into a serious light. The real French atomic testing in 95 to 96 were the perfect origin story handed to them on a silver platter. While there is some situational comedy, this obvious 90s sitcom of a cast has about as much comedy as the original Jurassic Park, and generally defies a lot of the expected tropes from this era. Most of the haha comedy is aimed at insulting Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert. Broderick plays a scientist who loves his job but is forced to work with people who don't believe him. His love story is mostly ambient. Mary Patillo represents a strong female archetype who overcomes her professional oppressors. Her work partner, comedian Hank Azaria, is not used as an awkward relationship triangle. Instead, their obvious pair represents the pursuit of journalistic freedom and integrity. The military is not the hero who they think they are, but are instead used as a tool for science. All in all, the most important result of this movie was not the money that it made, and it made a lot of money. It was that it inspired people to look into the Godzilla films they had missed. And this was the movie that re-sparked Toho and the entirety of the Godzilla franchise as we know it. There's honestly no telling if Godzilla would have continued the way that it has if not for this singular film. Corey, out.
Nailed it in 3 minutes, my boy.
Somehow has to, like, I don't know, man. You have to fuck up real bad in order to save the franchise. Well, it really did that number. I don't know what journalistic integrity you're talking about. I don't know. Like, this woman stole fucking shit. Like, this critique of the military, I see almost none of that. The young woman rising to overcome her work obstacles. Her work obstacle is a straw man fucking cartoon character. I'm not convinced.
I do think the most interesting thing I took from his voicemail was that Corey, if we've had Corey on our show a handful of times, and he is legitimately like a through and through Godzilla fan. He's seen all the movies, is like intimately aware with the details of like every single movie in the franchise. And hearing him say this is like a top 10 Godzilla movie is interesting to me. Because I know a lot of people just shit on this movie outright, sort of denying that it should ever even be referred to as a Godzilla film. And I feel like as I was trying to research this movie throughout this past week, there definitely is like a pocket of people that just deny this movie, its title, outright. But there's a larger, I think, group of people that have sort of come around to accepting that it is not a great movie, but ultimately is better than a lot of other Godzilla movies that came out of Japan, and even some of the other Godzilla movies that came out of America.
I'm sure that's true. I haven't seen all of them.
I
sure
think
you're
like
right about that.
The gut reaction to this in 1998, I'm sure, was overwhelmingly and negative. And based on what I read, that was the case. But like, you know, you got some time to marinate with it. And like, I guess some people did come around to it a little bit, which, you know, for what it's worth, there you go.
Well, I mean,
fine.
they definitely. The thing is, though, there are, because I did my last year when that Godzilla versus King Kong was coming out. I watched a ton of Godzilla movies, and there was definitely. I'm going back and finding out like some higher ones for me. Godzilla versus Biollante came out in 1989. I think Godzilla versus Destroyer was pretty solid, and that came out in 1995. But I'm mixing them all up in my head now. The thing is, though, I could see where you get into this rut as a culture and carrying a franchise of like what new there all of these films I'm looking at over the past 20 years are verse Mecha Godzilla, verse King Ghidorah, verse Biollante. And so I kind of totally understand of just getting in that rut of who are we gonna pick Godzilla against this time, and trying to come up with fresh ideas. So I get that.
No, I totally get that. And you know, like I don't begrudge this movie for bringing back Godzilla. I'm glad because I liked some of the Godzilla movies since. Okay. But you know, I also kind of find it hard to believe that Godzilla would have completely faded off the landscape entirely on the back of this one movie. Like, I understand that it was a publicity fucking thing, but it was negative. Like, it was like people knowing that Godzilla like movies are still being made, I guess, has value, but I find it hard to believe that there wouldn't have been some other Godzilla movie made if this hadn't happened.
I think it was largely negative, like when it comes to like critical response and people that were like very aware of Godzilla before this movie. I think just like in general, like general American populations, like going to watch like blockbusters in the summers, we're like, okay, it's, you know, we've seen Jurassic Park, that was cool, we've seen Independence Day, that was cool, and this is sort of like a weird mashup of the two, I guess. And it was just like, just another blockbuster that did make money, but I guess not enough money to continue the trilogy that was originally planned. So, like, does it do the franchise justice? Probably not. But did it generate some extra cash for Toho? Apparently, it did. So it served its purpose, I guess, in that way.
If I'm wrong about that, we'll never know, obviously. But to me, it's just like, I don't know. I just find it hard to believe that a property like that's got cultural significance here in the States. Like, if Roland wasn't able to make this movie, they would have found another director. They would have found another writer. They would have found something else. They did that several times, and I think eventually they would, because they were going to at least try and make their money with somebody. I just feel like this movie, for all of that good, I think that all of that good could have been done by any other Godzilla movie that was made under this context. Just about any other Godzilla movie anyway, except for the same old thing. As long as it breaks out of the format that they had, I totally agree. Like, that's what made this movie like stand out, but they were going to do that. They had committed themselves to doing that already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was a guy, Henry Saperstein, I guess, was like a distributor and a producer for the Japanese Toho Godzilla movies in America for quite some time. And he was trying for literally a decade to get rights to make an American Godzilla film. It took 10 years before they acquiesced and said, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
And, we got this, for better or worse. I don't know. But it did take a while. I don't know. It made some money.
It's historical.
It made its money.
It is.
It's interesting that they never made a
weird way. Yeah.
If it made all of its investment back, there would be a second one, right? Like,
it did. It was profitable. Like, from every.
I know, but like, if it made enough,
it was profitable. Yeah.
No, I understand, but like, profitable is a wide range. I'm saying, like, if they really I don't know. After the critic response and the audience response or whatever, it's clearly pretty negative. Maybe that's what did it in. But like, maybe they just couldn't pull the wool over people's eyes again, I guess.
Maybe so. Yeah. I don't know. Regardless, thanks for leaving us that voicemail, Corey, and chiming in with a slightly more keen eye for us.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you want to call in and leave a voicemail, you can do so at 904-638-3231. Joe Mangs, do you have any prompts you want to throw out for next week's show?
Well, real quick, I wanted to give one more for Matt. The Headhunter 2018. I haven't seen it, but it's night-based and looks very fantasy-based and has good reviews decent reviews from what I can see. So it looks decent enough. The Headhunter 2018. Never even heard of it, but I was trying to research for my guy.
I've heard one good review of that.
Okay.
But I have not seen it though.
It looks very fantasy based just from images I'm looking at. So there you go.
Mad God.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Mad God.
I don't know if that would scratch that itch.
So I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so.
Not quite. Yeah.
Okay.
No, we're not doing. Well, he's not asking for tool videos over here.
Why not?
Prompts for next week. I don't know. Call in. Let us know if you hate this movie. What's your favorite Godzilla movie?
What's your favorite kaiju film?
How did
kaiju?
How did this movie fuck up, and how did you like it?
Are you aware of the Korean kaiju Young Gary? Please tell us your thoughts on that.
Young Gary.
His obvious counterpart to old Greg.
I didn't even get to touch on Young Gary today.
The giant old Greg terrorizing Chicago, or
yeah.
No, it was a British thing, wasn't it? I don't know where it comes from.
It was.
Drink Bailey's from a shoe, etc., etc. Yeah, call in. Let us know what your favorite kaiju movie is. We want to hear from you. That's gonna do it for us this week at Straight Chilling. We'll be back next week with a brand new show. We're gonna be tackling the winner of our July poll, which was Lake Placid from 1999.
Just rolling into the 90s.
Just rolling, man.
Can we have one non-lizard movie this month?
Nope.
Okay.
The following week.
I don't even know what the schedule is.
It is so available.
They don't include me in these decisions.
It's infinitely available.
I'm a hostage.
It's always there for you to read.
Completely blackballed over here.
Check out Check out Lake Placid. Get ready for next week's show. Until then, please rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at STR8_chilling. On Instagram at Straight Chilling Podcast. You can send us an email at straightchillingpodcast.com. Also, if you want to join in on our daily Slack channel conversations, hit us up on one of those social media outlets, and I'll send you a link so you can do so. Until next week, as always, all you mother truckers, please keep chilling.
This one goes out to Tom.
Pumpkins.